like to welcome you to our very first Power Hour presented by the Mississippi Gulf Coast Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Today's event is to provide additional information about the Census 2020, as well as to provide information regarding the upcoming election and voter registration. Our presenter today will be Mrs. Zeleder Barnes. She is a former president of our chapter and the current social action chair. Thank you for joining us this morning as we present to you 2020 Make It Count. Sarah Barnes, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Zeleder Barnes, and I am the Social Action Chairperson for the Mississippi Gulf Coast Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated platform is social action and political awareness. So as a part of our 2020 initiative, we are excited to tell everybody to make it count, that the census for 2020 is very important. The deadline is Wednesday, September the 30th, which is next week. So this is our last ditch effort to ask everybody who has not completed the 2020 census to please do so. It is not too late to be counted. For those of you who might not know, the census is a part of our government and it is required through our Constitution. The Constitution requires that each decade that we take account of the people living in the United States of America. This is vital information for you and your community. It provides information to tell us how many representatives each state gets. It helps the community with statistics on how to plan for new roads and to fix existing roads, schools, emergency services, businesses in the community, grocery stores, health departments, whatever those needs are for your community. That's why it is so important to be counted. From anybody that's 1 day old up until today, they need to be included in the census. Businesses also use census data to provide local jobs and places to shop. So again, it is important. Now, some myths about the census is that the census is used to inform law enforcement or immigration or what have you. Your information is very confidential. The federal government assures you that nothing that you put in the census will be given to any agency other than the Census Bureau. It is information that is used for statistics only, and you will not be reported to any authority. So make sure that you know that your information is very confidential. What you put on that census form will not be shared. As a matter of fact, it stays in the Bureau for 72 years. So again, the deadline is Wednesday, September the 30th. It is not too late. You can go online to 2020census.gov/en.html. You will find the form there and you can fill it out. You can fill it out and submit it online, or you can still fill it out and submit it through the mail. The form has an address where it can be mailed. So again, we are doing this last minute effort. Finally, I want to say for those of you in your neighborhoods, check with your neighbors, check with your family, check with your friends, check with your church family, and ask, have you completed the census? I plan to walk my street, the street in front of me, and the street behind me. That's just 3 streets. And to ask, to knock on the doors with my face mask, have you completed the census? I will be social distancing, but again, I will be asking, and I will be passing out this flyer that will tell where to go to find the form, because I'm sure if you received it back in March or April, you probably still don't have it, but you can find it, and it is not too late to complete the census. And that is the final thing, though, I forgot to mention, is that it determines the number of seats that we get in Congress. It also is used for redistricting in your communities. So that's why it is always important. It's quick, it's easy. They only ask for a few pieces of information. Again, it's not too late, and your information is safe and secure. They will not share that information with anyone. And so this is our last ditch effort for the census. The election is coming up November the 3rd, 2020. Your vote matters. Your vote is your voice. Too many people gave their lives that we would have the right to vote. And therefore, it is your right and your privilege to vote. If you have not registered, you have until October the 5th to register. Again, as I canvass my street, the one in front, the one behind, I will also be asking those occupants, those residents, have you registered to vote? And if they have not, again, I will tell them or have the paper to show them where they need to go to make sure that they are registered. Registering is fine, but again, we need to push to get out and vote. It's okay to be registered, but the main thing is you need to vote. Your vote matters. Now, let me say something right here. For those of you who say, my vote doesn't count. Even if you don't go to the poll, you are voting. And that vote matters. That vote matters more than the one that you submit at the poll. So don't think by not going to the poll that your vote is not going to be counted, because it does. So again, make sure you go to the poll to vote. There are a few things that you need to remember. You need to confirm your voting precinct. Make sure you check. I have been registered to vote for a long time, but before I go to the poll, I am going to call the circuit clerk's office and again, confirm where it is that I vote and to make sure my name is still on the roll. There have been a lot of purging going on. So for the registered voters, even though you're registered, make sure you make that phone call and ask if your name is still on the roll to vote, and then confirm your voting location. When you go to the poll, make sure you bring your photo ID. Make sure you bring your required ID to the poll so that you will not have any setbacks or what have you when you get there. For those of you who are eligible to do absentee ballots, in Mississippi, we do absentee ballots. It began on September the 21st, which was Monday, and you can vote absentee until October 31st at any of your circuit clerk's offices. Just go in. Again, you must have your voter ID and take it with you and cast your ballot. If you want to do the mail in, you can request that. It must be postmarked by November the 3rd. If you are not sure, you can again call. We have a number here on the screen, 228-865-4005, or go to MississippiToday.org. They will answer any question that you may have on absentee ballots and mailing in that absentee ballot. Again, if you want to download the voter registration application, you must fill that out yourself. There's a link there where you can get that ballot, that form, fill it out, and make sure it is mailed in on time to be a registered voter. And then again, make sure you vote. Your vote does count. So again, make sure you're registered, and you will see a lot of different forums this year, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, asking, everybody's involved, asking, are you registered? Make sure you locate your voting precinct, update your voter registration. If you have moved, even if you haven't, make sure you check. And then again, make sure you have your ID when you go to the polls to vote. Update any names, addresses, and what have you. Again, you can go to the Mississippi vote page and get all of the information that you need. Your vote does count. And even again, as I said, when you don't vote, then that counts too. One last thing is to go and get a sample ballot. Now, not only are we voting for the President of the United States, but there are other key positions on the ballot in Mississippi. Make sure you get one so that when you go to the poll, whether it's absentee or on the actual election day, you go as an informed voter. There are people probably on there that you have not heard about. Go to Google their names, read their profile, see what they're about, so that again, you can make an informed choice when you vote for the Senate, for the representative, for the House of Representatives. Go and look them up so you can make an informed choice. Also on the ballot this year, we have 3 initiatives that we will be voting for. Mississippi has some local elections that you will need to vote for. But the last thing is the statewide initiative on medical marijuana. Again, Google it, see what it's all about. Talk to someone to make sure you make an informed choice when you vote. There's also an issue on there about the governor's race, whether they should have the majority of the vote or whether the House or the Senate selects if they don't get a total majority. So again, make sure you're informed about that. And finally, of course, is the state flag referendum. Look them up, make sure you make an informed choice on what it is that you need. And so your vote does count and it does matter. But those sample ballots are available and you can find them. Again, the final thing is the census counts. It's not too late. We have until next Wednesday, September the 30th. Poll your family, friends, neighbors, church family, and what have you, and ask, have you completed the census? We want to be, I wish we could be 100%, but if we get 75%, that's better than 50. That's better than 60. So we are making a last effort to push for the census. And again, don't forget to vote. Your vote does matter. So join us at the poll on November the 3rd and cast an informed vote for your choice. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do appreciate your attendance and your time and your attention to these matters. Again, be counted. You've heard the expression, stand up and be counted. This time you can sit down, but at least be counted. And finally, your vote, your voice, your vote does matter. Thank you.